Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? A gracious good morning to you, good people. It's your girl KB. You know what I do, and you know why I do it. It is Thursday morning. It is 3:42 in the a.m. And first, I want to answer a couple of questions, and then I want to get into the second part of my initial video talking about the two stories that irritated me early in the morning. Okay, so first question is about my beanie baseball cap. It's a new style hat that I discovered. Normally, I'm wearing a ball cap or what do you call them? A slouchy beanie with some type of African print. But I put messages on all my hats now. I moved from t-shirts to hat design as well. So this message here, I think it's very clear. And it's, yeah, nah. Yes, I saw you, and no, I don't agree with you. Yeah, nah. So that's my statement. Now, my hoodie, I know you can clearly see the HBCU symbol. My hoodie says Howard University, established 1867. That's 2 years after the slaves in Texas were told that they were free. So that's when Howard was established. You know, we celebrate Juneteenth because of 1865. 2 years afterwards, here we are with our own university. Now, the second patch you can't really see. Okay, I designed this myself. It says history and heritage at the bottom. History and heritage right here. But you can see music notes right there, right? It's the first stanza from Lift Every Voice and Sing. It's my own design and my tribute to HBCUs. Ta-da. Okay. Second story that irritated me this morning. I don't know how many people know about Liberia. Okay. It's a country in Africa that Marcus Garvey had some influence on. It's, I want to say, founding population pretty much was expatriates, freed black folks who moved from the United States back to Africa. Okay. So this gentleman, I use the term very loosely in the broader sense of the word, approaches or thought it would be cute, funny, humorous to approach an African woman in a supermarket. And the initial opening was pretty much innocuous. And I'm guessing, I can't get the full gist of it. It's coming out in trickles. The African woman thought he was doing a podcast. And this gentleman pretty much accosted this woman in the supermarket, asking her about how she could afford to fill up a shopping cart and make a bid on a $500,000 house. I believe he made the statement, when white people couldn't do it. You know, basically pretty much asking her how she had the nerve to be black and have stuff. Okay. Then when he started catching heat, my man went to the White Fragility Handbook and offered up this insincere apology And, the woman, the African woman, was seriously upset, and she was asking people to call security. And I'm waiting for the rest of this story to evolve and drop, or I'm going to stay on top of this story, and I refer to the White Fragility handbook. I'm so sick of empty apologies, and people not looking at their, here's that word again that I use, and I'm beginning to use more freely, people not looking at their bullshit. I was taught a very valuable lesson not too long ago from an individual who was born and raised in the South, and talked a good game, but then they did something. And then when I called them on what they did, out came the playbook. First the empty apology, then the damn near tears, then the blame, or the projection of blame. I'm not at fault, you are. Now, see, this goes back to another thing that was said to me, that I was being divisive. No, see, I made you uncomfortable because I held up a mirror and showed you your behavior. I made you uncomfortable because I made you think about your level of racism and bigotry that's built into you. Because you've never given thought to it before, and nobody has ever held you accountable to it before. So maybe this is a fresh exposure, or maybe it's not. And it goes to, how dare you, it's that the South Park thing, disrespect my authority. How dare you? See, I'm not being divisive. I'm just holding up a mirror. And I'm just letting you know the filters through which it comes to me. And you're in your comfort zone, putting me in a position of discomfort because you're in your comfort zone with this. I hope this makes sense. See, entitlement and privilege is a comfort zone. But when I expose the filters that it comes to me in, that causes me distress and discomfort, now all of a sudden you're mad about it. There's another conversation that I had via messaging about, I shared this the other day, the kids protesting, and a friend said, oh, these poor babies. I said, no, it's not poor babies. There's nothing wrong with these babies. We should have told them the truth. We failed these babies because they're believing a lie about their history. And now all of a sudden they got to deal with some stuff that they weren't prepared to do because we lied to them. It's not poor baby. It's shame on the people who are responsible for teaching this. Just as sure as hell as you can teach racism, how about you teach the truth and then allow your kids this time and space to process it how they process it? Or how about you teach kids to be sensitive of their privilege or their lack thereof, so they know how to extend grace How about that as a teaching? But see, again, we retreat back to our comfort zones. See, I'm going to leave you with this last thought based on comfort zones. And it's like right now, in my personal time, space, and continuum, and I shared this with my sister, I'm having a hard time celebrating holidays, especially Christmas. Well, one of the biggest catalysts is the fact that my mother is no longer here. And then the second piece of that is we're in a time, space, and place where we tend to have everything and have very little appreciation for the things that we do have. You know, it's like building a sundae or a banana split. And you know how you say the cherry on top? Well, you got a jar of cherry sitting on top. And you lose the flavor of the foundation. That part.